said before, so sports and activities are critical for me in my life with my dogs, making them feel purposeful, having a common goal, working as a team for that goal, and making sure once we hit that goal, we're saying, okay, good job, let's raise the bar. And that purpose makes him feel good and makes a better dog, obviously, right? In my experience in life, working and training dogs has been everything from competing in dog sports for many, many years, showing dogs in Europe and in the States, in Rottweiler, Siegering, working and training detection dogs. So everything has really been about work and live a better life, work and live a better life. So it doesn't mean that everyone's going to take their dog and be this super hard working dog, but just basic activities of saying, hey, here's our goal today. This is the puzzle. We're going to work together and achieve this success as far as just fun obedience or different tasks as far as agility or competitive obedience or finding scent or finding an odor, finding a ball in the woods. All these things are critical to this whole journey with your dog. So Morgan's going to take out it's my dog. His name is Gage. He's a Labrador. He's about 8.5 now. He's a retired mom dog. He's a hunting line dog, so his genetics were bird dogs, hunting dogs. Saying go make your dog a bomb dog, but it's irrelevant what he's looking for. He just feels good. He says, I want to do something. I want to work. So we want to make his mind still purposeful. So we just put these blocks out. And we put they're all identical, and inside there's a blank can. So everyone has a blank can. Two of the blocks will have a hot odor in the blank can. So visually it looks the same, but he's going to have to sniff and find it. Typically he'll do a passive indication, which means he'll sit and stare at the odor, and then he's working for the ball. Obviously we're going to throw him the ball, and she's going to play with him and tug, and kind of that's his activity, right? Let me do this, let me get there. I did something today. And again, I'm not saying you have to do it for your dog, but these are kind of things that make your dog feel good. So Morgan's gonna handle and let's see how Gagey boy does. Good boy, Gagey. Good boy, buddy. At JFK Airport, we're running a plane coming from the country of Qatar, and the captain, our dog hit on the captain's flight bag. They closed down back of JFK, and there was cops, bomb squad, the whole 9 yards, and they said, nothing was hot. And they actually took the guy's flight bag and they checked it out, and it was actually black powder residue. So he was at a gun club in Manhattan. He had these private gun clubs. He was at a private gun club in Manhattan the night before shooting, and he handled black powder and touched his flight bag, so the dog indicated on the flight bag, and they shut down the airport. So, I got the call. I'm like, oh God, I hope this dog found something. And they're all like, whose dog? I'm like, this is mine. So when I got the call the next day, I was like, oh, thank God. So Gage is a 9-year-old dog, obviously still pretty in shape. He still eats well, he exercises. Good boy, easy boy. Good boy. Good job, buddy.
He's my good boy. All right.
Okay, so how do you start with like this particular like to start getting them into like a scent drive?
Sure, absolutely. So typically you'll do is just like you do any obedience training, say, hey, what is my dog actually like, right? So if my dog like Labrador, if he likes to go get a ball, right? Labs typically, if they're he's a field lab, by the way. So field labs are hunting line dogs, so they have quite a bit of prey drive, hunting drive, right? That they're working dogs.
65%.
So typically we're gonna say, hey, here's a ball. I know you like the ball, and in that ball I'll take like pantyhose and stick black powder or gunpowder in, right? If we're trying to imprint on black powder. So we'll put it in pantyhose, stick it in the ball, and then I'll throw the ball. And so now he's going to get the ball. He doesn't give any nonsense about the smell, but what is he doing as he's grabbing the ball? He's smelling the smell. Saying, oh, Gage, here's the ball. I'm throwing it over there. Gage is seeing it with his eyes, right? He's grabbing it, boom, but he's also smelling it. So now it's simultaneously conditioning the ball with this odor. Doesn't realize he needs that odor yet, but he will. So now we take the ball and I say, okay, I'm gonna throw it in that tall grass over there. Gage says it's in that tall grass, but I can't see it, right? So what does the dog start doing is, oh, but I remember this smell, this sight paired with this smell got me the ball. So then they start using their nose to pick up the odor, and then before you know it, they pick up the odor, pick up the ball. Now they start using their nose to find the ball. So that's how it starts. That's how you imprint on odor. You can also do it with, we have like training pipes where you have a pipe with a hole in the back, and you know when he puts his nose in it, you can put food under it. So then he says, oh wow, okay, I put my nose in that pipe, which we'll direct him to, and then they get fed from the back of it. They get fed from the back of it. Then we'll put 2 pipes there, identical looking pipes, and he goes to sit on the one that doesn't have the smell in it, and he doesn't get a reward. Then he goes to this one that has a smell, he goes, oh, there's that smell again. Jackpot reward. So now the odor brings him to the reward. And that's what's happening. So he goes, oh, I know I have to find that odor, or one of 10 odors, because you know there's 10 different odors. Once he hits any of those odors, he's taught to passive indicate, which is to sit down on it, stare at it, and then the reward comes. Make sense?
Yeah, so one more question. So with a dog like him where he's more like a field lab, wants to go out, like hunt,
Yeah.
how did you, like, I don't want to say go against genetics where he's kind of like, let me scent now and be like more
Same thing.
your typical like,
He's hunting.
it's
So
just,
still hunting.
He's hunting, yeah. So the nature of a dog with hunting drive is to say, hey, I have.
It's just
He's
working.
actually. I'm not a big hunter, and the only reason why I actually went duck hunting with him and his daughter is because I'm a dog trainer, so I love just doing everything. I've done everything with dogs. So I said, okay, let me go out there in the field and go hunt ducks and quail and all that jazz. So it's the same thing, right? So if you go to shoot a duck and it lands in the pond, right, 300 paces out, now what is he doing? He's jumping in the water. You remember, a dog swimming can't see what we see, right? They're level with the water, but they don't see anything. So we see because we can see the duck, they can't. So they start using their nose also. Or it lands in the field, what are they doing? They're using their nose, same thing. And what are they doing? They're grabbing it and saying, hey Dad, look what I have. I got it. Please, let's do it again. So it's not really getting the duck that's the value, it's the journey of the hunt, right?
Right.
So him getting the ball is all good, but what does he want to do? He wants to say, let's do it again, right? And that's kind of the piece that we're working together for a common goal to make the relationship strong. And then from there, and this is the critical point, you can really make any obedience, right? Because if you have this bond and this relationship, the dog says, I really like doing this, cool. But it needs you to do some things you may not want to do, which is lay there and don't make a peep for 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So later we're gonna hunt. Okay, no problem. So for me, that's the true value of positive reinforcement, right? That's positive reinforcement
Yeah.
for me.
What?
Terrible.
Like you, Joey.
Gage.
Okay, so Sarah's worked in the veterinary field for 8 years. She's actually helps us out here one day a week. Thank God, Sarah. She's a lifesaver. She trains with us also. She has her dog, Belle, which is the greatest Swiss Mountain Dog. She's 4 years old, right? Belle's 4. She's a service dog. She's a cardiac alert service dog. But Sarah really loves training a dog, loves having fun with her dog. So Sarah dabbled with a lot of different dog sports, and she's got a ton of titles from Belle, from AKC Obedience, AKC Rally. She's done barn hunts, drafting, farting. What else have you done? Herding.
We tried that.
She's gonna make sure I say everything. That's not all I did. She lays on the couch and watches TV sometimes. Belle's a really cool dog though, so she also experimented with farting, so we have fun with her and pulling people around, pulling stuff around, and Belle actually loves it. So we're gonna, again, for me, it's, you know, what works for your dog, it's genetics, right? So genetics, hey, if my dog, and I'll bring my Enzo out, and he's a competitive Schutzen dog, which is a working dog sport. So he's a Rottweiler, he likes to bite, he likes to bark, he likes to be defensive, right? So that's what we do, right? My lab, he hunts, right? So depending on the dog, you gotta find out what works for your dog and say, if this is what works for your genetics, what makes you naturally feel good, those are things I kind of want to do for your dog. And if you have a lazy dog who doesn't like to do many things, you find out the one thing that he does like to do and keep it short and sweet and work with the dog. Anybody have questions on it? Yeah.
How do you get into like sport, like doing trials? Like where can you start to do that? Like,
so it all depends on what you're looking to do, right? And listen, I'm going to say something, and this is something I've done. I should have said this before. Over the years, when as a kid, I'm not an old person, but as I've been in this for a long time, and I've seen the transition, which is really good, open up for dog sports and training dogs to a wider range of people in different disciplines. So when I was younger, if you got into any like real working dog sport, it was almost like a club. It was like a private thing, and you really couldn't get involved unless you kind of knew somebody, because it wasn't like, hey, Maximum Canine does all this stuff, so you can just go down there and say, I want to learn how to do it, and pay them, and they'll teach you, right? It wasn't like that. It was kind of like if you want to do any like protection sports like Schutzhund or Belgian ring sport. I don't know if you guys know what that stuff is. Anybody know what that is? So I've used Schutzhund for many years. Schutzhund is a working dog sport that was for the German Shepherd dog back in the day. It was really a breed test where they had to qualify for tracking, obedience, and protection. Now, theoretically, if you go back to Germany, right, early 1900s, we're saying we need dogs that can actually perform. If not, we don't want to breed them, right? If they're not really hard-working dogs, there's no purpose for them. Now, I'm not saying that was the theory. They're tools, right? So it became an international dog sport, and today it's just a sport. But back in the day, it was hard to get into these things, like your question, right? How do you do it? So today and stuff like that, there's places like me and other dog trainers who say, hey, we're going to open it up to everyone, because I think, for me, training dogs and learning how to match to the expectation, like when you're doing a dog sport, or if you're having like I'm a bomb dog handler and I have to get certified every year, when I actually have to perform, not just what I showed on social media or something, hey, he's a good trainer. No, I'm having somebody sit there, you got to perform. If not, you fail, right? You're not going to make it. This dog actually has to find orders. If not, it can't be a bomb dog. So same thing with the dog sports. You're sitting there, if you really don't do obedience well under distractions, without a leash and without food in your hand, you don't pass. So what does that do for you? It teaches you how to be resourceful and how to understand how to make that dog a partner to make you achieve success, right? And so you get creative and you become a better dog trainer that way. So I think the dog sports, if you're really into that side of it, it's awesome. So I think the avenue to do it is you find places like us, and it's online too. Like you can go to, there's a lot of places to do like AKC obedience.
We started with precision handling. Last year we got the entry title for IGP Schutzhund, which was the BH, and we're working towards the other phases right now in sport training. But that's really kind of how I got started. I started with CGC, and then I was like, okay, let me start with precision handling, and Joe started offering that in September of 2022, and then by November of last year, we ended up getting the TH. So it really was, for me, a progression of, let me take some classes, let me take some private training, and yeah, that everybody starts somewhere, and you find something that you're potentially interested in, and different trainers might have different approaches as far as what's going to be successful for them. But yeah, you find something you're interested in, find someone who's titled in it, and then work with them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think can I speak for a second? I think you're right. I think that a lot of people, when they want the definition of a trained dog, I want them trained. What does that mean, right? Like for what? What do you want them to do? When do you want them to do it? So I think that, like Kate was saying about these little benchmarks and milestones, I think that when you're training for something, even if you never reach your goal, I know a lot of people who do Schutzhund on GP dog sport just for fun, just to diversify the dog. That dog has a release at the end of the week to be able to go out there and pull after an entire week of saying, don't pull, right? Walk by my side, or bite that person after being trained not to bite people, right? So I think in the end, it really does help a sense of control and just overall happiness from the dog being able to work towards something.
So in drafting, dogs will, they go through a formal test. Part of it is navigating through obstacles. Other part is a freight haul where they walk for a mile with a load in the back of the cart. At the beginning of levels, it's on leash. Towards the end of it, the harder levels, it's off leash. So we're working towards that with Belle. eventually I'm hoping to start trialing her in drafting. We'll see how it goes, but I'm gonna have her pull Kaleigh across the room and we'll go from there. Right back. Work. Yes.
Hang on, Kaleigh.
You guys ready? Right. Good girl. Right. Good girl. Right. Yes, good girl. Let's go. Good girl.
Good job, Belle.
Girl down.
Nice work, Belle.
Good job, Kaleigh.
Good job, Kaleigh. Yeah, you part better than I do. So canine gauge, his tail was going 90 miles an hour. So again, fulfillment, purpose, positive reinforcement. That's not what it's about. Finding your dog, what works for your dog, and what works for people too. I'm trying to do everything, but what works for you, make sure your dog is fulfilling.
Can I add something?
Absolutely.
So when we started this, it took us, what?
Months.
Yeah, it took us months because Belle was super nervous about the cart initially. And so we got her to a point where she would pull it and she was okay with it. And she was nervous about making the turns. And it took us so much time to figure that kind of a turn
That
out.
was a good turn.
Yeah, it was a great turn. It took us a lot of
Morgan,
time.
good turn, Morgan.
It took
It
a
took us
collaborative
months.
effort, yeah, months of sitting there, multiple lines on her,
Trying to figure out how to make her turn. And she did very good.
hundreds of dollars of cheese sticks.
So we're not carding for